It is now time for Rollout Live with Speedy and Friends. Guaranteed to make you laugh, guaranteed to put you on the ground. But you may hear something that doesn't agree with you. You may not like what you hear. But at the end of the day, you will be laughing. And that's all that matters, that your ass laugh. Get ready, here we go. Thank you so very much. I don't know if my mic's on. Don't give a fuck if it's not or whatever it's doing. It is on. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends, and I'll be. Yeah, be faster on that, bro.
Pops.
It is September 15th, Wednesday, bitch.
Is it?
I voted yesterday.
For what? You get a sticker?
Yep, got my sticker on.
I think that's so soft when dudes be posting their sticker. Put on
I posted my
they
sticker.
put on their nose. I voted. Yes.
I voted, bitch.
That's
so those of you don't live here in Cali.
Who'd you vote for? Do people talk about that after they vote?
I can hear that. I hear.
I know. I gotta check.
My bad. So I voted not to recall the governor.
Right.
That's what they were pretty much.
Right, for the recall.
Because it didn't matter because there was other people on there, but it doesn't matter if you say no to the recall.
Right.
Then that's the end of the vote for you.
They got like 2 million signatures for the recall.
Yeah, no, but that's all you need to get a recall.
Right.
But you need more than 2 million people to vote to recall the brother.
That's right.
And I think by the middle of the night, it was like 60% no recall and 30% recall, and that's probably that 2 million.
They should have recalled him.
Nah, the governor's doing good.
He's not doing good.
And it's going to be a blue state. The only reason they're doing that, or were doing that, is to try to make California a red state. That way you guarantee you win presidential races from that point on. And you pretty much guarantee that you run the House and the Senate, because I think we have more senators and per state. And that's part of the get down. But, they try to put Larry Elder, that motherfucker, he ain't the brother.
See the brother, even though I don't trust dudes without mustaches.
Yeah,
I think that's weird.
For sure. Well, Wanzer don't have a mustache.
Yeah, I don't trust Wanzer. That tells you right there. But yeah, I want to see the brother in there get a chance. You know what I'm saying?
He was horrible.
Get a chance to mess up.
He was trying to roll with everything Trump. He said that everyone knew about it, but anytime you run for politics, anything you said in the past will be brought up.
Right.
So he had said once before that he felt the guy that shot Trayvon Martin could live in his neighborhood. He was only trying to protect his neighborhood. And the white dude was like, but Trayvon wasn't doing shit. He says, yeah, I got that part. It was just a mishap. He called it a mishap. And that's just how he was running. And he had somewhat of a name as opposed to most of the other people who were running besides Jenner. They end up dropping out.
Yeah, I don't be following.
Which just left him.
They said greedy and friends. That's hilarious.
Who you calling greedy?
Who you calling fat?
I'm thin. I'm wearing extra large. It's an extra large shirt.
You gotta get a bigger shirt, Pops.
Nope. Fits just right for me.
Just because you lose weight don't mean your size shrinks.
FYI. It did.
That doesn't mean the clothes fit though, Pops.
What?
I'm not saying you.
The fuck?
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the clothes in general. I've been looking for more loose fitting clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to get my linen on.
Yeah. I gotta figure out now. It's how do I want to dress? How do I want to look? I don't want to look like an old young nigga with a gang of colors on and shit that don't go with me.
I was talking to Cheyenne about this, and I was like, I remember when I was a kid looking at Granddad. He looked like a granddad because he wore the leather. He wore the sandals with the holes in it. Socks.
Black socks.
He wore
dress socks.
Water swimming trunks. But he would never get in the pool, but he had these high shorts on, and he always wore a white V-neck that was a little too small, and that was just his and some the cop glasses.
Oh yeah.
That was just his get down size. So I used to always think like, man, what's gonna be my granddad clothes by the time I'm older? Like, am I gonna stick to? I thought it would be tall tees and all of that. I thought I was gonna stick to that for a long time.
The only thing I did was. I just love cut-off sleeve shirts. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's kind of strange, bro.
And that happened maybe like 6-7 years ago.
But why you start lifting weights, though, when you did that?
I just wanted, for some reason, I needed the sleeves to be cut off.
That is the worst.
The shirt felt comfortable at that time.
You know what? I have a bad habit. I cut my sweatpants.
No, I don't do that anymore.
Every single year. Every year. Like, it's a habit. I cannot help it. Like, I buy a lot of sweatpants because I like sweatpants. And then they get hot. And then I can't take it. I don't want to go buy shorts because I got 50 pair of sweatpants in there. And some of them already, the color done faded.
You got 25.
So now I just start chopping the knees off. And you know, like 3 pair, you're going to cut too short. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so is it above the knee is cool?
It depends.
Like, I can't, because every time I wear anything below my knee, people go, oh, you got skinny-ass calves. I don't.
Huh?
I don't have skinny calves.
So you saying if you wear your shorts above your knee, it makes your legs look bigger?
I look well proportioned.
No, you know what? That's a good point, Pops. When you do wear your shorts and they go below your knee, because the leg of the pants is still wide. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's a little thing sticking out the bottom of it, like a drumstick.
Like life went bad for you. Like no sports was in your life. And I'm like, no, I have nice calves as long as you can see them attached to how the rest of me look.
So yeah,
you just see my calves. It's not sexy.
I like I don't know. As I gotten older, I feel weird wearing baggy clothes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I gotta be comfortable.
Yeah.
So like that's the balance. Like
I can't do tight.
That's what I'm saying. I can't do tight either. Yeah. I can't do snug nothing.
I feel like that. I'm not that young to do the little small shirt.
But tight's not cool though.
But you can't have it too loose. You can't have it like you can't wear the old sweats from back in the day, the coach sweats that flare out at the bottom.
Right.
You can't wear those. But you can't wear the ones that show your calf muscle.
Who was cutting the clothes in the 90s? Like, what were they sizing?
We went through a bad little swing where the skinny niggas was wearing. Remember, they was wearing 40s.
Yeah.
Pants.
Everybody wore 36 and up.
Yeah. And you couldn't find none of the shit in the store.
Everybody wore 36 and up. If y'all don't know.
Yeah. And
it doesn't matter how old you were. You were 36 and up.
And you had a Gucci belt on.
Yeah.
Or you had on some pants and you didn't want to pull them up.
No, we had the worst thing of my the worst thing of my era was we had the digital belts.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
So yeah, when I was a kid, if you're not from LA, you might not know about this, but when I was a kid, we had the letter belts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just this little buckle. So just a little aluminum buckle.
Letter your name? What
yeah, and it had the old English letter on it. So that was like the main thing as a kid. It was a sliding belt, the little that always got stuck. And then
at the wrong time.
Yeah, and then I remember going to City Walk and everybody had first they had the diamond belts where they put the studs on it.
Yeah.
Then they had the big buckles. Yeah. Then they went to the digital belts, and that's when I remember as a kid the first man code as far as clothing kicked in for me. Yeah. Cause I was like, everybody that looked cool, and we had like a little clique, and the homies like, yeah, we can put our little clique on there, and I'm like, I don't know if I want dudes looking at my crotch though, like
the digital belts.
Yeah, I couldn't get
and
with
now
that.
Now somebody staring at the middle of your body trying to figure out what to say because they got to wait for it all to show.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't get with that though. That was the.
I think the best era for me, dressing wise, was cross colors. Not cross colors. Pele Pele.
Pele Pele was even though they clothes was weak. They jackets though.
The jackets, the jeans, I just liked them all. I think Pele Pele.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Pele?
Pops, nobody knows how to spell it.
Okay, cool. And then who made Carl Kanai? That was
Carl Kanai?
Yeah, not Carl Kanai. I mean cross colors. He did cross colors and he did I thought Carl Kanai's clothes were the best ever. And then after that, Sean John.
I liked Sean John. I don't know
they
why
had
Puff.
An outlet.
I don't know why Puff stopped doing it. That was weird because I feel like
he actually had some good designs.
I feel like Puff is the only black person that I could think of that came up with a clothing brand that the name sounded like something that could last forever.
Yeah, and it wasn't too big.
It wasn't FUBU or like something nice Ava Rex or something like that. Like Sean John. Everybody knows somebody named Sean and John.
It's something about us. We run our course on shit, and we go, okay, that's enough.
But because
somebody talk them into it, that's enough. You need to quit.
I think when black people think about being successful, they think about money. They don't think about occupying spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, you got to think of Henry Ford. When he got into the car industry, he wasn't the richest man. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But in 10 years, you know what I'm saying? You can monopolize the business. So if Sean John would have stayed in there FUBU would have died out. Pele, Averex, everything.
FUBU should have stayed.
But no, I don't think the name FUBU could have lasted.
Oh, okay.
Like that's what I think was kind of trendy. Like actually, I like FUBU. I would wear FUBU today.
I like this stuff. I thought sometimes the lettering was too big, but I think that what it is when it comes to us, it's like the Dr. Dre thing. Everybody applauded Dre for getting out of Beats. Right. He got all that money, but Beats is still going.
Right.
They never. Now, don't get me wrong. They may not sound the same, and they kind of watered it down.
But they're
still
going.
But they're still going. Somebody's still getting checks.
Right.
And I think that's where we're missing at. Yeah, you got bought out. You got paid, not bought out, but they say, oh, he jumped out at the right time. Why?
Right.
Beats is always going to be associated with you, whether you there or not. That's your shit.
And I think especially when you start getting money, they teach you that it's about money. When it's everyone else is playing the ownership game.
Mm-hmm.
And like every other group of people, they playing the ownership game. They're not playing the money game. Because money, you can't, if you don't know anything, you can't do anything with physical money. You have to put it into work. You got to do something. If you just have it sitting on your shelf,
do something with it.
Right. If you just got $1 billion,
mm-hmm.
you're losing money every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you have $1 billion, you take half of that and you invest in it. You have that working for you. That makes more sense. So, like to your point, him cashing out on Beats by Dre is cool. But I would have just took half the money and invested it and started my own headphones.
Just stay with it. Black folks was never going to stop buying Beats because they knew it was associated with him.
How did Dr. Dre not own headphones? That's crazy to me. This is what I think about two things. How does Snoop, this is what I don't understand about Snoop Dogg. Everybody hears Snoop Dogg. How does Snoop Dogg did not monopolize the weed industry in Los Angeles?
Yeah, he should. Yeah, because he's associated with
it. Think about this, y'all. We have 1 billion liquor stores, right? You got mini marts, you got 7-Eleven, AMPMs, whatever. There's 1 billion weed shops. There should be a Doghouse weed shop that everybody know that Snoop Dogg weed shop.
But what if that's not his interest?
How?
Well,
this is what I'm saying. You spend your whole life branding yourself. He spent his whole career branding himself.
Yeah, he smoked a gang of weed.
If I was Snoop Dogg, I would have bought gin and juice.
Oh, yeah.
I would have made that a drink. Like how Tupac did the Alizé thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would have made gin and juice a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm Snoop Dogg, I would have just made a dog pound weed shop.
But then too, gin, if you drinking gin, you a different type of liquor person. Gin ain't no just ordinary drink. And somebody drinking gin, they've been drinking a long motherfucking time. It's just a weird.
But
I think Sean John Puffy should have stayed. And I think what happens is when a brand goes very well, like Sean John was doing, they and it's black. I'm pretty sure they didn't want that in the marketplace. Because remember, he made it into Macy's. He made it into everything. Now he's at Ross.
I'm going to go buy some Sean. If Puff still owned it, I would still rock it.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Welcome to Roll Out Live with Speedy and Friends.
Black tea.
Hi, it's Dana calling from home.
Dana.
What it do?
Not much. Sorry, Vern.
Hilarious. I know, Vern. You got beat.
What was your favorite outfit to wear? Or clothing?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't have a favorite.
What was your favorite brand coming up?
Always do that.
I didn't wear a lot of brands either. Probably Guess.
Oh, I remember the Guess era. Did you go through
that was like late 80s and
I remember Guess was popping.
Early 90s, I guess.
Hilarious.
I don't know.
What was like the mandatory thing to have as a fashion statement growing up? Like everybody
growing up or like teenage years?
Teenage years, like everybody had it.
Probably cross colors.
Yeah.
Cross colors. Like, did you have to have a certain item, like a jacket or the boots?
No, you just had to have cross color.
You know what? I think you had to wear cross colors. Then I remember the Guess jean jackets were big.
Oh, yep.
The pair of jeans, but I've never been a label person. Like, I do like certain stuff that has a good quality to it, but I've never been a label person. A jeans, T-shirt, and flip-flops was it.
But see, I'm not a label person. I don't want the label to be huge.
That's what I remember so far.
See, I didn't want the label to be huge. I don't want no big-ass, like I forgot who's that always put a big-ass, like Carl Kanai put a big...
I called in because I had some feedback about the business thing. You guys were like, why didn't Dre stay in Beats and all of this different stuff?
Go ahead.
But to a certain extent, we have to realize that a lot of times blacks are shut out of these businesses.
Yep.
Right.
And then to have a chip in the game and to move forward, they're pushing you to sell their business. They give you an offer you can't refuse. I do believe that 99% of us has a price. So,
sure.
Yeah, but why not be upwardly mobile? Why not access this? I know the guy that owns Shea Moisture, he bought Essence magazine.
Oh, nice.
So someone's always looking, to go up the rung of the ladder, but a lot of times we're shut out. Recently, Black people all came together in the Crenshaw district and tried to buy the mall, and whoever owned it or however they,
oh yeah, the Westfield
people. They a Russian dude underbid them, and they took it. That was Black people's opportunity to own something in that area, and they're just like, this train is coming through. We're gonna throw up another Starbucks and Jamba Juice,
right.
And we don't want y'all in here like that.
Yeah, that's too much money.
So the Westfield.
We want to revitalize the neighborhood, and we can't do that with Black people here in large numbers.
Dana, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Westfield people bought the mall, or someone else bought the mall?
No, Russian businessmen bought them all.
Oh, okay.
So what are they doing with it? Because I know they got rid of
the. They got rid of. Speedy, it's probably a developer. They are going to tear it down and probably build something else. I don't know the overall.
I didn't know that.
I don't know the plans, but I know that the Russian dude underbid those Black people, and they accepted his bid.
Oh wow.
Wow. Yeah, because I know a Walmart.
That type of stuff happens. They shut us out, really, and people are like, well, why don't Black people do what other cultures do? Not when you're being shut out. Even, right. I'm sorry to cut you off, Speedy, but even these businesses like Slutty Vegan and Turkey Leg Hut, the people in those neighborhoods and in those areas and the business owners come together and file suit because of the smell or the traffic or you don't have your parking set up. It's really like a concerted effort to shut us down.
Yeah, we were doing a comedy club in Oakland, and we were doing very well, and the neighbors decided that it was too much traffic, and they shut the club down.
That's what they do. It's always, or eminent domain. If they can't get you any other way, Speedy, these businesses and these homes, these Black people, when they come together collectively, like my neighbor is Black, the person across the street, the school has majority Black teachers and all that, they'll do something with eminent domain, and we want to build a park, or, we want to put a freeway through here. We want to do an extension.
Oh, yeah, and then they
So if you have someone always collectively working against you, that's very hard to go up against, especially when you don't have the capital.
But I also believe, like in Puffy's thing with Sean John, I believe he was doing very well as far as being in all the big locations. He was in Macy's, he was in everywhere, and then he gets bought out, and then the brand just disappears.
Well, that's what it was meant to do,
right.
Because he was being too positive and too out there. When Beats first came out about 9 years ago, you could buy them with a Groupon for like $19.
Right.
Because my friend did it. She was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna buy these for everybody and just give them away because they're so cheap." And then Dre gets involved, and the other guy, his business partner, and Japanese then it just skyrockets. And now, he made all this money and stuff. But to answer Nick about why Snoop doesn't go into weed or cannabis at a higher level, or he wasn't the first one to do it,
right.
Those licenses are very hard to obtain, and Snoop has a felony.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, I'm not even talking about him selling the weed. Like, you can own the shop, you know what I'm saying? You could just own the name, and they could just license the, like for Subway. You know what I'm saying? Subway just a sandwich shop.
I get that part, but another thing that I've watched Snoop over his career and always been a fan, and on some level, to me, Snoop stays high, so he just don't have to deal with a whole lot of other stuff.
That's possible.
That's what I said.
I'm sorry, I feel that way because it's just like, I'm not trying to put that Black man down, but I think Snoop stays high just so he don't have to deal with so much, aggressions where everything is cool, I'm laid back, I'm high, I'm good.
Right.
And he's in a good space too, I think, where he make a gang of money and he don't have to deal with white people on certain levels.
Right. He let his business partner or somebody that does business on that level that works for him or in partnership with him deal with it. And it's just like, because I saw Snoop at a basketball game, and Tiana Taylor had got into it with this white dude, and Snoop was like about 5 feet away. He never looked over. He never paid attention. And I was like, he's so high, he's just chilling. He couldn't react if he wanted to.
What you doing today?
Chilling, probably going to do some work. I wanted to do my What You're Watching.
What you watching?
Please, go right ahead.
I heard Nick bring up clickbait, but I didn't have enough time to watch it.
I watched the whole thing.
When I was out with COVID, I watched some of everything.
Like what?
I got tired of TV.
Yeah, I was the same way.
I did. I just, I went back and watched Love Jones. I watched Dear White People. I watched the series on Netflix, She's Gotta Have It. I watched The Upshaws.
What did you think of that? What did you think of that?
David Makes Men.
Well, Dana,
say it again?
What did you think of the series, She's Gotta Have It?
You know what? It got better as time went on.
Okay.
But in the beginning, it was just kind of like, she hooked up with these 3 dudes. She lives a really carefree life and everything. And then, live your life. But the whole, about 5 episodes dedicated to her lesbianism, I could have deal without that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't tripping about. I just thought it was really good. And again, I thought when they caught their stride, they decided to stop doing it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Netflix canceled. Netflix gave Spike, a 2-season deal, and it never found its audience like a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I liked Lovecraft Country, and it's, it has a lot of critical acclaim. It's been nominated for all these Emmys, and HBO decided not to pick it up for another season because I can see where it's very expensive to produce.
Because it was a timepiece. It was, yeah.
It's a lot of moving parts,
yeah.
And you're trying to convey a certain story, and maybe they just didn't want to give Misha Green all that green light, like, do whatever you want. But Courtney Vance made a good point when he came out and he won his Creative Emmy, was like, you guys have, HBO, you guys do a lot of groundbreaking things, and you had enough money for 15 seasons of Game of Thrones, mm-hmm. but not a second season for Lovecraft Country.
Nope.
Yeah, and that's why I was going to say I don't want to go. I didn't want to go with that thought of they didn't have the money because they got mad money, but also
they have the money. It's just. It's a lot of moving parts, and it's
no, Dana, I'm not gonna let them off the hook like that. You know why? Think of all the shows that got canceled after the second season that were really good.
Say it again, Speedy. I didn't hear you.
I said I'm not gonna let them off the hook like that. Think of all the really good shows. Remember Underground? Underground mm-hmm. was killer.
6 seasons.
Was killer, and they just canceled it. They said, "Oh, we're going in a different direction." Most of the mm-hmm. black shows that do very well. That they can say, well, we're not gonna do it. You think it's a show called? It's a white boy got a show, even though he got a few black people in it, and the rapper Dickie.
I was thinking of him or the other white Jack Harlow, something like
that. It got picked up for a second season. I'm looking at that shit, going, what the fuck? And some of the writers
they're winking at him. It's a wink and a nod, Speedy. You have to admit that some of these black shows, when it picks up an audience like that where we're all watching and it's not, it's about black trauma, the underlying theme is the black trauma, and then, people are watching it, it produced a podcast that everybody's listening to, they like, yeah, y'all doing too much, let me go and pull that back.
Because I feel, and I may have said this before, even on the show, on Jamie's show, I felt like this is a show that should go easily 5 seasons. I really thought.
Oh, that. They had enough steam and motivation or whatever to move that far. But I don't know. And they dragged it out, Speedy. It was the last announcement of the year is that Lovecraft Country isn't coming back. They waited, and the lady Misha Green, she had already did her outline.
Wow.
For the new season, for the second season, and they just kind of like shut her down, and I would like to, know whose decision it was.
But you know what they do in those situations? They'll shut them down, but they'll go, oh, we'll give you another first look on something else you got.
They did give her a first look.
And I didn't even know that.
I don't know what the name of it is, but I did read that they gave her another first look. So they're interested in what she does. Most likely she's queer, so they're giving her the purse strings. They just have it in somebody else's hands.
Dana, don't believe it that way. That's how they shut. You know what they told Jamie after they canceled his show? Oh, we're going to give you a first look on something else. Me? Yeah, they said we're going to give you a first look on another show. They told him the exact same thing, and that's what they tell most of the black producers and writers.
I read that it was Jamie was in agreement with the cancellation, Speedy.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So they just kind of put that in there, and then made it seem like they went along with it.
He wanted to do 2 more seasons. He wanted to do 2 and 3 together. We were supposed to shoot 2 and 3 together, like right now. Mm-hmm. That's what he wanted to do. And then I got the call, okay, we didn't get picked up, but some other goofy ass shit got picked up. So I'm like, okay, because What's Show got picked up for second season.
Upshaw.
The one you guys said.
Upshaw.
Yeah.
It's called Upshaw.
Yeah, Upshaw. It got picked up for second season.
It was a pretty good show.
But it was totally opposite.
Now that I've seen Upshaw and Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, what I would have liked to see with a Dad Stop Embarrassing Me is a little bit more nuance.
What do you mean by that?
Nuance, when I say that, I'm talking about something geared more to the black community. Like
all of it was geared.
Did the church episode, it was that, but when I remember Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, it could have been anybody. That could have been an Asian family. It could have been a West Indian family. It could have been anything, because to me, I didn't see the nuances that spoke to our community.
But everything that we wrote, besides what people have to understand, we didn't write the first 2 ones. The first 2 were written by a white guy, and his guys that he brought in. We were there, but those 2 episodes were already written. So then when you get to the third episode, they moved him out. They moved Bentley in, and they really gave us a voice as far as the other black writers on the show. And a voice where we could say, no, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do this. We should go in that direction. And there was a lot of stuff that was changed to like they never had the episode about the police, and we came up with that. Fox wanted that in there. They had more when it came up about the Latino guy that worked for Fox. He didn't want it to be like just because it's a Mexican guy and we have a gang of Mexican jokes. He didn't want to have it like that. And I think we tried to be above making the typical black show where deadbeat dad, not in the kids. We just tried not to do that. The only thing that they really wanted, they wanted the mom to be in the show, and Fox didn't want the mom in the show.
Fox didn't want it?
No, he wanted to be a single dad. And did not have to worry.
That, but
where you didn't have the mom come in and go, I want my daughter back, because I thought we should have wrote an episode.
You could have done it where the mom was just so busy that the dad was a better fit.
Yeah.
Because what was it, Georgia, and it's family oriented down there, and she would have had more structure, so you could have done it that way. But to me, when I rewatched it, I would have liked to see something more nuanced towards being black. I think that's what was left out, where you guys did not want to utilize that.
Now, what do you mean? Okay, I know what
you should have.
I have an idea what you mean by being black. But what do you mean by being black? Because he was black throughout the whole series. He wasn't black in a way, in a sense that was expressed. What about the dad?
Like there's things that goes on in black households that other people don't live there, don't know anything about. This whole thing that we're all American, but we're really a culture within a culture.
Right.
Like he was a black dad, but I didn't see him express being a black dad. He could have been a white dad. He could have been a Mexican dad. He could have been any kind of dad. That was not expressed in the show when I watched it, because that you guys chose not to go that way, but it should have been more like that. I understand what you're saying about the negative aspects in, what is it? Not typical, but the other word I'm trying to think of.
Predictable.
Where I don't know. There's a word I'm trying to think of, but I would have liked to see more of that when I watched the Upshaws. Yes, it was a family, but we knew that was a black family.
Yeah, but I see. I beg to differ.
I'm
really
trying
do.
not to be negative.
No. You're not being negative. You have an opinion.
Your work so much, Speedy.
No.
But I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Yeah, but then I think the Upshaws was the total opposite. It was the typical thing you always see.
It wasn't the opposite. The only thing that was a factor that carries a lot of the Upshaws is Wanda Sykes. Her being the sister, and her and Mike Epps going back and forth, and the whole sister-in-law, brother-in-law thing, where she likes him but not likes him. That really works for that show.
I thought David Greer destroyed. You just no way you can't tell me
he
David.
Was.
He was a great dad.
He was great.
He's a fantastic dad.
I would have liked to see more. I think for some of these shows, if you're not going to do network, when I'm saying NBC, ABC, and CBS, and you're going to Netflix, take that leverage and use it.
No, okay, so you guys don't know.
Am I wrong, Speedy? You tell me, because you're the person.
I was there. We tried to go. You can go to the line, but anytime we went over the lines, the upper people brought it back and said, "No, we can't do that. You got to find another way."
Okay.
So it was a lot of stuff we wanted to
see
do.
Jamie in that image.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, when it came to Netflix, they had notes, and when they would give us notes, we had to abide by the notes. And then and then Fox would go, "Well, I'm gonna see if I could push that," and he would try to push it, and then they would go, "Nope, we can't come off of that. We got to have this." So, thank you, Dana.
And see, I would be interested to know who are the people that work with the Upshaws, because they totally let them do it.
Yeah. But I think because you had Jamie's show go one direction, so you make the other show go the opposite direction to see what happens.
Yeah. So it becomes an experiment, and whoever who pays off with the viewers and the
I think they both
watchers,
did well, but
that's who gets it.
I think they both did well on the viewers, but I just think they picked the other show over ours.
Well, whose numbers were better? Because when it comes down to Netflix, it's about numbers.
It's not numbers. There's no numbers in Netflix.
It's never about. It's never about numbers. With the people.
They just want their thing at Netflix is that's why they wanted you to do. That's why they do series. That's why most of the stuff they put on is a series, because they want you to watch all the series. Ain't no commercials. They want you to watch from 1 to 8. They need you to watch 1 to 8. That's all they want.
They did the same thing with Regina King's TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not TV show, but Netflix show, 7 Seconds. It got her nominated. Everybody was watching it, and she didn't get a second season either.
I think that kind of remember when someone would get the best new artist of the year, and then you never hear from him again?
Oh, that's a curse.
Yep.
That's always been a curse. It happened to Terrence Trent D'Arby. He was supposed to be the new Prince. He might work at Taco Bell as far as I know. But I think getting those awards for shows and like that are a curse for black people, because the minute you get them, they go, "Okay, you got an award, you should be happy, and then we're going to cancel your show, and then you got to find something else to do."
Well, it just depends on who you are, because for Regina King, she was nominated and stuff, but she was nominated for Emmys that she won. She was nominated for this, that, and the other that she won. So I would say in her case, it's a no, but I do know about that.
And I hate doing
that's a curse to get the best new artist or the best new show or whatever.
I hate doing the if thing, but if she was white, she would have at least 6-7 shows under her belt right now, directing.
Yeah, but you know what they say, Speedy.
Yep. Tell me.
If it was a fifth, we all be drunk.
That's why I didn't want to say it, but I did. Thank you, baby girl.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Call in. Let's discuss it, man. I love discussing Hollywood, being in the middle of it.
Well, let me
818-914-4087.
One more time.
818-914-4087. You have a shit written down somewhere.
I hate to be the conspiracy theorist here, but let me just give y'all a little knowledge. So you guys should, everybody should do the research. This helps me, like, when I get into these debates, not to get so emotionally invested into it, because it's cool to talk about. Hang on for a second, caller. It's cool, but I have to keep in perspective. The purpose of creating television was to program people. The purpose of theater, before they even had television, back when they was putting on plays with the Greeks and the Romans, the purpose of that was always political. It had nothing to do with entertaining the people. That's a waste of time. No one cares about that. So I'll always keep that in perspective when I'm watching television, and I don't agree with what I'm seeing. So when I look at
and if I take what you're saying, I truly believe what you're saying is correct, because if you take Upshaws and you take
what's the
Stop Embarrassing
Me. Look, what's the political message, right?
That
so in Upshaws,
we'd rather show you a deadbeat dad with two different baby mamas.
So look this, when you got Jamie show, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a woman competing with him.
No,
he is an alpha male in his show, right? The beautiful lady with him is feminine. Mm-hmm. She's not arguing back with him. She wants to help him. Mm-hmm. This is putting black, and his daughter got respect for him. Mm-hmm. He's taking care of his family.
And if she ever dared to the side, he goes,
right.
Oh,
he corrected. No. They go on to church. Yep. Right. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing counterproductive about his show. When you look at the Upshaws, even though I like the Upshaws, when you look at it, you got the gay son. Mm-hmm. Which that was uncalled for. There was no need for the gay son. You could have made Wanda Sykes gay because she is gay. Because no dude wants to hit Wanda Sykes. Yeah. So I didn't understand. That's how you know it's a narrative. Because if you needed a gay person, use the gay person.
He misses his the other twin son or twin kid.
He got multiple kids spread everywhere.
And he goes to the house and they're gambling. They're shooting dice on his birthday.
And the mom is constantly arguing with him. So that's making it look like that's the normal, and that's what the world thinks is normal for black people.
And that's why people went, oh, it's so great.
Right. And this is my thing. And the sad part is this, Pops. I thought that was normal until I met Tommy and Whitney. Mm-hmm. And I got a chance to see. I was like, oh, shoot, this is young black people that don't argue? Because on TV, that's all you see. Mm-hmm. So you think if you're a young couple, you got to argue with your girl and all that. Mm-hmm. I seen Tommy and Whitney. I said, oh, they don't want you to know that. Yeah. That's not a good narrative for the whatever you want to call it.
What's your name? Where you call it from?
Fern.
This L out of Houston.
Take that L.
L Boogie, what up?
What's the Billy?
You, man.
Slow motion.
So y'all didn't hit on so many different things, man. I'll miss out on some stuff I want to talk about. So I get what Dana's saying about the show. Dana, Stop Embarrassing Me. Uh-huh. Basically, what I gather from what she was saying, if I'm, looking at the way she was trying to put it, is that as far as based on the narratives of the show, any race could have been put into that position.
I don't think so.
A white dad and a white father. I mean, a daughter, Asian dad, and it still would have fit and still would have worked.
Right.
And so, pertaining to comparison of the Upshaws, I mean, we just keep it 100. It was more black. And what I mean by more black is we can say what we want about how they make the type of shows to want to keep us down or whatever, or kind of how things are as far as the black community. But it is what it is. I mean, it's the reality of how it is. We can't deny that. And I think that's why Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. I mean, the Upshaws did better because they did have that dynamic of what we see in our own black families.
So what would you say? What do you say?
Whether you got money or not, I've seen it both ways. Whether they got money, whether you have money or not, I've still seen those type of dynamics within black families.
Okay, personally. so let me ask you a question. So you're saying white America, the regular white America, they don't have arguments, they don't have baby mamas, they don't have drama in theirs because they don't show that on their TV shows.
Right.
Just so you know that.
There's no TV
show. No. I understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is we have a different type of comedy. And I'm looking at comedy shows.
Right.
We have a different type of comedy as black people that we laugh at. They laugh at more straight-laced type comedy. That's why a lot of their shows are geared towards that. Some of this writing is funny and things like that.
No.
But we don't have that type of comedy in our black culture. We laugh at the baby daddies. Unfortunately, but that's just what it is.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
The ratchet on.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So why did Fresh Prince work? Why did Martin work? And they didn't have either one of those.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't have no baby mamas. They did not.
Yes, they did. They didn't have. But understand, Speedy, I'm not saying that every comedy show has to have a baby mama.
No, you're saying that's how black culture is. You're saying that the majority of our black culture deals with baby mamas, the issues, motherfuckers arguing.
That was an example. What I'm saying is, if you look at the Fresh Prince, if you look at Martin, okay, those shows still had black comedy that we can relate to.
Yes,
the Shanae's, the Romy Romes. I mean, the crazy jokes, the type of things that you can see yourself sitting, with those people and having that, you're laughing with them based on the type of comedy. It's the difference. I just think that Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, they had some comedic pieces there, but I think, again, like Dana was saying, anybody could have fit into those slots, and it still would have been the same type of comedy.
Now, the asterisk that has to go on to Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, the original cast was supposed to be Tiffany Haddish as the sister. Because of COVID, they couldn't make it work, and she had a gang of movies and stuff lined up, and she couldn't get out of them. And his best friend was going to be what's my man, the little short comic. He had a song,
Duval,
and Lil Duval had all these appearance dates that he had got deposits for us, and he couldn't get out of them. So that would be the only asterisk I would put by Fox show. He had to go, and at the last minute, because we were under the wire, we had to find a cast. So he just called. He knew the white dude. He had worked with him before. He just called him, say, "Hey man, can you come do the show? We'll figure it out how we're gonna do it." He said, "Yes, I could do it." Then he calls Portia. I need you to come do the show. That wasn't the first pick, but we had to work what we had to work with. And then David Allen Greer was never called. It was originally George Wallace. And George Wallace, when the pandemic hit, he said, "I can't do it," and that's how we got David Allen Greer. So the whole show was.
And that's what I mean, Speed. Like David Allen Greer and Wanda
was hilarious.
Were the saving grace of the show.
Yes,
they did the back and forth arguing that we see as black people laughing, and we have. I mean, let's just keep it 100. We have that type of stuff happening, and it's funny. We already know when we go to the family reunion, you're going to have the uncle that's doing this or the uncle and the aunt arguing. You're going to see that. And that's just, it's not saying that there's anything negative about it.
No, it's just
though. Something that we see. It's not.
It is.
So if you don't see it, does that mean?
If it's the reality of what happens within our community. It is what it is.
I didn't have the uncle.
But this is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying. I can't relate to nothing on the up shows. Nothing. Like it's funny, right? Because they put it on TV because it's a stereotype. But I don't have those dynamics in my family. None of them.
I'm not saying every black person does.
So no. But hold on, L, hold on. But what I'm saying is this: when it comes to, let's just use for example white families. If you do a white show, there's 1 billion white people live in trailer parks, live in poor communities.
Don't never show it.
Sleep with their uncles and have babies. They don't have TV shows about this.
Sure don't.
They don't make it funny because it's not funny. There's nothing funny about. In my personal opinion, there's nothing funny about a woman yelling at a man and disrespecting him. But in the black, But in the black world, I've never seen Roseanne in my life, so I can't.
That's what I'm saying. You don't. So you.
No. Hold on.
Roseanne was one of the exceptions because she was trailer park. That was a trailer park show.
So we got one show.
And it worked.
Hold on.
It worked.
We got one show. This is what I'm saying. We don't see this consistently when it comes to every culture has issues. Every culture has problems. All I'm saying is when we show both sides of it. It seems to be the negative side that gets the most attention. That was my point.
That's funny, but that's what we. But
I don't think that's funny.
Here's what I'm saying. You don't. That's fine.
Right.
But you don't make up the masses.
Well, then neither do you.
But y'all should think about that then.
We laugh at these things. We're not looking at those things and say, "Oh, let's put this down." And they like we laugh at those things. That's the type of stuff that we laugh.
That's
at.
the problem.
Comedy show, Speedy. You come on. You know the type of comedy that's being done.
Yeah, but okay. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Comedy is not gonna get the reaction.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. So, right before the pandemic, when DC Young Fly was doing his thing, DC Young Fly was doing numbers, and a young lady calls me and goes, "Speedy, DC Young Fly's doing numbers. Stand up is old. Nobody's doing stand up no more. They're doing what DC Young Fly and those guys are doing. They killing." And I listened to this young lady on the phone and I went, "You got to be absolutely crazy to try to tell me that stand up is dead." And she's younger, and her belief was DC Young Fly is the new. And I'm not hating on DC Young Fly, but she said, "No, this is what comedy's evolving to, where you just show up and you clown the audience and then you go home." you don't give like I give no part of what I do. Like I clown, but I also do my stand up and show you part of how I grew up or my life. Mm-hmm. And she literally was like, Speedy, you, Fox, and she started naming all these comics. Y'all it's about to be over for y'all because these young comics are doing these and they doing mad numbers. And I told her, I said, it's only going to last a minute. And DC Youngfly and his group is going to be the only ones that are going to get that money. And that's exactly what happened. So when you say, oh, you got to be like this, no, you don't. You don't have to be anything. I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air never went there. They never had to. Now, they may have had somebody come in and play something different, but it was absolutely a white show. That could have been a white show. You know that could have been a white show.
You gotta look at this, Speedy. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Look at the main character. Don't look at all the other characters around. Will was the main character.
That's the same thing.
Will was the one that brought that dynamic to the cast.
Okay, now take that and flip it.
And you still hold up. And you still had the other characters that also had their stuff every night. Uncle Phil would go off. Aunt Viv was feisty. They had that dynamic still. It was still there. Now, when I say the dynamic, some shows are more extreme than others. Perfect example. Okay, I just started watching and I actually finished watching it. The Miss Pat show. Okay, that's the extreme other side. Completely extreme other side. But again, I can relate because I have seen that.
But does that make? Is that what you?
And I get it.
So are you saying the only shows? Are you saying the only shows that should be put on air should be for black people is showing everything? We should have a little bit of both. Can't we have both? But I'm asking, can we have both?
About Dad Stop Embarrassing Me and comparing to the Upshaws and what I'm saying in these other shows and what Dana was saying pertaining to Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. As far as how that particular show, she said it was not saying that it wasn't black enough, but it could have, anybody could have been put into those roles.
But I don't understand that anybody. What does that have to do with it? That's not that's any show.
You don't change nothing. Okay, you don't change nothing about the show. That show could have had a white father, a white daughter. Could have had a Mexican daughter, a Mexican father.
But what does that have to do with whether? Okay, so you're telling me
it could have had that. You could have put them in, and the show still could have ran and did the same exact thing.
No, it wouldn't have.
So what's the no? But why is that? No, but that's the no. But Pops, that's the point though.
Yeah,
is to show black people in the same light other cultures are being shown in.
So what's wrong with that?
That was the point.
Nobody said nothing was wrong with it.
No, but that was the point of the show.
You're looking at. Okay, if you're comparing, let's keep it like this. If you're comparing black comedy to white comedy, we know that there's an obvious difference.
What's the difference?
No difference in a black show and a white show. It's no difference. We don't laugh at the same things. We don't laugh at the same things because we have things that we laugh at that are funny to us.
But if you're okay, maybe I'll go this. I'm gonna go this. Maybe you're not diverse as I am. I was able to laugh at Will and Grace. Will and Grace to me one of the best written comedy shows ever.
I watch everything. That's why I can say what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let me finish. I'll let you finish. Let me finish. Will and Grace. Everybody Loves Raymond. Off the fucking chain.
That's funny.
Off the fucking chain. Funniest shit I've ever seen on TV. The callbacks were funny. All that shit was funny. And when you got to black shows, when Lil Rel came out, was that funny? It had all the black characters you want.
I didn't watch that show as much.
Okay, so but it had every single thing you just said.
But I think you're not.
No. I'm saying it had everything. It had the baby mama dramas. It had the daddy with 2 kids by itself. It had all that other shit, and it still didn't work.
But Speedy, this is okay. Understand?
Right.
A black show is no different from a white show. Not every one of them is gonna work. It doesn't mean just because you have that it's gonna work. I'm not saying
or you don't have it, or you don't have it, it's not gonna work.
But I'm saying it's just like does every show work? Some shows don't get picked up. Some shows don't work. That's with everything. So I'm not saying that if you do these things that it's going to work and it's going to be a hit. No.
Right.
Every show still has to have that chemistry. It still has to have something to draw that audience to want to watch that show.
When's the last time you saw a black show where they went to church? Just tell me when that. Just tell me when they had a black show that went to church.
Never.
And they told the daughter says, because these young kids don't go to church. And when she said, "Oh, I'm going to go do yoga," all the older black people said, "What the?" Because they're like, "No, we go to church on Sunday." When the last time you saw that on TV?
Good times.
Thank you. Come on, man. We got to be better than that. We should be better than that.
I get what you're saying. But I think you've been a little defensive about it.
I'm not defensive at all. I know it may sound like it.
I think you are.
I'm not, but what you think is fine. But I'm not. If I say I'm not, I'm not. But
I agree with you, Pops.
I mean, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, every show is not going to work.
No, everybody knows that. Hell, that's everybody knows that. All the shows are shot in the dark.
The audience to want to watch it.
Yeah, all the show, everything you write down. Like I got 4 or 5 movies and a couple of TV shows. I don't know what they're going to do until they get on their feet. Until somebody.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example, Speedy.
Hilarious.
The Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have all that. They had the mother there, the father
they
there,
had everything. Funny as fuck. Funny is all I do.
And they put Bill Cosby in jail, nigga. What does that tell you? So what does that tell you, nigga?
They had that stuff. They still had stuff.
Yeah, and they put that nigga in prison.
Laughed at because I'm not saying that it has to be super black, but it's still.
That could have been a white family. That could have been a white family.
Right.
We could relate.
Nope, that could have been a white family. Don't even try it. That could have been.
Why
could have been Japanese?
Why couldn't it have been a Japanese family?
Hello. Oh, what happened? You hung up?
But it worked.
That's not what he said. I said it could have been a Japanese family or it could have been a Latino. It could have been a Latino family. It could have been whatever.
Right.
This is not the case.
Right, but
still got to have something to draw the audience back to want to watch the show.
We agree, L. But the point was that you said anybody could have been on Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, which I agree, because there was no scenario on there. But I disagree too, because I think that the church thing was good, because in most families they wouldn't have frowned at yoga. That's a black thing. So I think they did hint of some element to that. What I think was missing was the ghetto element. And I think that's what, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but as I'm reading the chat room and I'm listening to people, I think that's what we're referring to. And my point is this.
It was none.
Everybody doesn't come from, every black person, that's not their reality. Every black, that's what, and like, yeah, like I was telling my pops, like, I didn't know there was black relationships that people didn't argue. Because whether it was directly in front of me or on television, that's all I seen. Whether it be Love Jones or Poetic Justice, that's all I seen. Until I met a black couple, and I've known these people 6-7 years, and I've never seen them argue. I've never seen his wife disrespect him. So that gave me the reality to go, wait a minute. This what they show me on TV is not reality. There's other people. Just like every other group of people in the world, black people are multidimensional. We don't have to have a loud auntie. Like, we don't have to.
I said at the very beginning of when I started.
You got a gay son? Do you got a gay son?
No, I don't have a gay son.
How many black dudes do you know with a gay son?
A couple.
Out of all the guys you know, though, it's a couple.
Yeah, just a couple.
Is it a common thing or an uncommon thing?
Well, look, let's go. Look, Speedy, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, you always had that one dude.
Yeah, he was happy. We called him happy. That's what my mother called him, happy.
You had that one dude.
That one dude that was happy.
Whether he was related to you or not, we all knew that one dude.
I had a cousin. I can say his name.
You dig what I'm saying?
I had a cousin. His name was Bucky, and Bucky.
That's a gay name.
And he would come to family reunion. He would always show with some little dude, and it was in the black. And in the black culture, we don't say nothing about it. Nobody says anything. And if somebody does, they'll nip that. Hey, shut up. Be quiet. Let him be who he want to be. And he would just pranced around the house.
You want to play Jackson?
You want to play Jackson? Let him go.
Do it.
Let him do it. You're right.
You had that one.
You had that one. But I think what Nick is saying is, like, I didn't understand, like, in writing, make me understand why the son should be gay. Just let me, if you give me the reason, if you're saying, well, we're going to do this because we want to represent, okay, then say that. and then say we want to make sure that some gay people watch the show. Okay, then you put the gay character in there. Okay, do what you got to do.
You don't need a gay person for gay people to watch the show.
It doesn't always have. You
crazy.
should not always have to have a gay person in the black show. I agree with that because that's again, like you said, Nick. You don't see that in every household.
But that's
you don't see it there. So I agree. I agree with you.
Or the other, L.
I don't have it either.
Oh, L, you know the other thing they do when you see a black character on a TV show, a strong black character, the next thing you do, you find out that person is gay. The one on on 9/11, the sister with the bald head. Why did she have to be? She didn't have to be gay just because she had a bald head. I know her. She's from Chicago. We worked together on a project. She wasn't gay, but why did she need to be gay on that show? The black girl on FBI Wanted. Super strong character. That sister is strong as fuck as the character. But she's gay. She's gay in the character.
I got one for you.
Have you seen the Miss Pat show?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
I'd be interested. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on it. Look. I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed. There was lots of, like they said, everybody says lots of cursing, lots of profanity and things like that throughout the show is a lot.
Did it make you move, or is it just cussing?
It fit.
Okay.
The shit was funny, but what I did notice is as the episodes went further and further along, seemed like it got less. It still was there, but seemed like the profanity got less and less.
The network probably wanted them to bring it down.
Yeah,
because I know
at the beginning
on our show we had 2 fucks. We could do bitch more than four times, and you could not do nigga. Shit you could say more than once. There were certain words you could say more than once, even on Netflix. But you couldn't just go in there and go, motherfucker said shit, motherfucker. You couldn't do that. They would come back with notes. But thank you, man. Yeah. Great call.
Check out the Miss Pat show, Speed. I want to
try.
Your thoughts on it, bro.
I'm try to do that. 818-914. It is what you watching Wednesday, but hey, what you watching? We'll talk about it Wednesday.
I got 2 things I was watching.
Go ahead.
One, on the topic that we on right now. Before we get off of, we can get off it right after this. I seen this movie called In the Cut. I doubt you ever seen this. It's with Meg Ryan.
No.
It's actually a really good movie. It's older though. I want to say 17, maybe earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
But to the point that we're talking about. So in this movie, one of my favorite comics is in this movie, Patrice O'Neal. If you know anything about Patrice O'Neal, if you haven't heard his comedy, I would say he sounds like somebody that Corey Holcomb grew up listening to. If you can imagine that. Patrice O'Neal is one of the funniest comics I've ever seen. The movie's called In the Cut. So this is what I didn't understand about this movie, right? Good film.
Mm-hmm.
I had to watch it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Patrice O'Neal plays a very small part in there. He plays a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays a gay pimp. That has on eyeliner and a leotard.
Mm.
And as I'm watching the movie, I watched it twice. And I'm going, he could have been a pimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pimp had nothing to do with the movie. So that's one strike. You putting a black man in there as the womanizer has nothing to do with the film.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he gay? Why is it a gay pimp on a stool with a little 22 in his purse?
That's an oxymoron. You can't even be a gay pimp.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, DJ.
What kind of shit is that? A gay pimp? Like that's like being a pastor that do murders on a weekend.
Now, before you go into it, DJ De Vegas, the reason why, Nick, because there were no black writers in the room to go.
No, I don't think that pops. I think the reason why is because they have an agenda against black men.
Oh no.
So you take Patrice.
That's what I mean.
You take Patrice O'Neal,
who's funny as
who's
fuck,
known as an aggressive black male.
Yeah, and you tell him to play that.
And you tell him to put a leotard and eyeliner on and sit on a stool.
Yeah. But again, there was no black writers in the room to go, hey, don't do that. But go ahead.
Because that could have been anybody.
A lot of people are not going to agree with this. People think I'm crazy for even saying this. But they have an agenda against pimps. They do not want you to think that a pimp is a man of character at all.
A pimp is not a man of character.
Everybody has a different views. Everybody has, a different morals and stuff like that. And everybody says what they will never
What's
do.
disabuse?
Like that.
I never heard that before.
But it's certain, if you know
it's hard for me to explain because a lot of people don't understand it. But that's something that could never happen. A gay pimp.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. That's what I just thought the character had no purpose of being in the movie. So obviously it was another reason for it.
But every depiction that you ever see of a pimp is a negative one. It's one that
I don't think there's a positive.
They always trying to make you so they just fool with a big hat and a cane and it's just it makes you perceive it that way if you've never met one, in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because they want you to think that this person is the scum of the earth. They'll never talk about the good things that they have done, which, like I said, you got your own morals and stuff like that. Everybody is different. So, but I just got a problem with that. Like, it irritates me.
You want to be a pimp in your past life?
No, I came up around that a lot, and I kind of gravitated towards that, and I got a lot of game and information from like that culture, and that's a culture, that's a lifestyle that you have rules to. There's rules. Like I said, you can't be a gay pimp. You can't be like pimps don't just sit up and just beat on females 24/7, and they don't sit up there and make you. It's not by force. It's by choice.
You'd be tired
like,
if you did 24/7.
Y'all met Bishop Don Juan, right?
Yeah, he gave me a ride to school when I was in junior high school.
He's one of the coolest dudes. Like, we all know sugar free.
Yeah, but you're meeting him on the surface.
Yeah, I wouldn't let my sister grow out with him.
Yeah, you're not.
Hell, you talking
again, about? I'm not saying you right or wrong, DJ. I'm not saying you right or wrong, but let's just keep it real, nigga. Now, again, have you ever watched the thing on Prime about Slim? What's his name? Iceberg Slim.
No, I never.
Oh, you got to watch that, bro. You got to watch that. He talks about being a pimp and how in Chicago and how he had to be.
He wasn't a pimp. Iceberg, that's the dude that wrote the books, right?
No, he was a pimp in Chicago. He's one of the top #1 pimps in Chicago. They have books.
Have you ever seen American Pimp?
Yeah, I saw all those, man. But I get what you're saying about the gay thing. I'm not talking about that part of it. But there is a side of it that is fucked up. That women take L's. They get their ass beat. They get knocked out. They get killed. Things like that were happening to women if they didn't if they wasn't producing. You know that.
Absolutely.
And they were getting them strung out.
No, not if they not producing. Well, maybe back in the days, yeah, but you can't do stuff like that no more.
And, hey, FYI, DJ, pimping is a white man's culture.
Nah, I don't believe so.
That is a fact.
I disagree. Why you say that?
Because pimping and prostitution whorehouses were started by white men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Red light district.
They had the power first, but that's not pimping. That's just
prostitution. Huh?
That's not pimping. That's prostitution.
The person that's putting the person out there is the pimp, nigga.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, it's something called a definition. By definition.
Yeah. Profit in my pocket, nigga.
Listen, you could send anything. You can send anybody outside to do anything. That does not make you a pimp.
It does. Profit. If you come back and give me the money.
Yes. Okay. Like in the world of America, technically, I guess to those people that will make you a pimp. But to pimp, that wouldn't make you a pimp. You wouldn't be a pimp. You couldn't say, DJ, because I send this girl outside, I'm a pimp.
What did you attach this show to? What is that attached to a show? Or you just wanted to call in about the pimp shit?
He was just
you defend the pimp.
He just wanted to be he was defending pimp.
No, this is like real life, like from pimps. Like if you talk to them, like they will tell you these things. Like if you're not following the rules and regulations of the game, like you're not a pimp. Like
why would I listen to?
Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you tonight to go to on Prime, Amazon Prime, and watch Iceberg Slim.
Okay,
and then
Speedy, have you
just watch
American Pimp?
I saw that. I'm just, bruh.
Yeah,
I said I saw that.
That's
one.
That's like early.
Everybody
2000s.
saw that.
I asked the question. Why y'all get so hot?
Yeah, that's like early 2000s. American Pimp.
All I'm saying, bruh, I want you to watch Iceberg Slim.
Speedy, look, I'm gonna be in Cali. I'm gonna be out there Friday.
Impossible.
Can we do a show? Can I come through?
Absolutely.
Yes, nigga.
Absolutely.
And we can talk about this. I want to talk about this on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Don't play. Are you bringing the Hellcat?
Yeah. I'm gonna drive the Hellcat.
All right, so I'm gonna make sure you have a parking spot in the back. We're gonna give you a nice little parking spot.
Please do that because I cannot park my shit on the street.
No, we ain't gonna let you park on the street. I'll park my test on the street.
But look, Speed, can it be a late show though? Because I gotta go to a funeral that morning. So can it be something late, like the late show, not nighttime, but like afternoon?
Yeah.
We
can start a little later on Friday.
We'll start a little late.
Yeah, give me like 2, 3 o'clock, man. I'll be there, man.
Done deal.
All right, for sure, DJ. We got you.
Okay. Wait, what you say, Nick?
I said we got you for sure. We're gonna lock
I'm
you in.
gonna hit you up on the IG. But look, I wanted to speak on a writing thing, you know, with the shows and stuff.
Oh yeah, he went through.
I think the problem with as a consumer, and this is like I said last time, this is the kind of thing that makes me want to write and shoot my own.
Don't
stuff
do it.
No, shoot yourself.
As a consumer, I feel
first.
like stories are not being told right, and some of it like. A lot of stuff that gets put out, like, it's corny. Like, I'm not talking about nobody particular, but I'm like, a lot of stuff would just be like, like, it'd be some me. Like, what show right now could you watch and be, like, just holding your stomach laughing?
Right.
Like, nothing is out like that, and nothing is, like, real. Like you got different type of black people. You got the hood stuff. You got black people are regular people, but it's like still these shows is kind of like not connecting, and that's why a lot of people kind of group towards that Mike Epps show, and that's why a lot of people is gravitating towards this Miss Pat show. Think about it. That show is on BET Plus. I don't know nobody that got BET Plus, but a lot of black people know about this show, and it's going viral on social media because they in there talking real shit, and they cussing like a motherfucker like people do, and it just feels more real, and it's not corny, you know.
I'm gonna check it out today, DJ. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I don't have
cool,
BET
like,
Plus, so.
But even though the Mike Epps show that was on Netflix, they was on there cussing and you know what I mean. Like, I don't know how he got that done.
Hey, Mike Epps.
Well, DJ,
you just said on Netflix it was only certain cut. Y'all can only say 2 shits, and they on there saying 15.
I know. So that was the note we got. So they got a totally different note. But again, I think they wanted to make them the opposite of what Jamie's show was doing.
Yeah, but even Speedy, with y'all having Fox and y'all having writing authority, y'all still was held back, right?
Yeah. We can only do so much
because, and here's the reason, like what y'all wanted to do.
Yeah, and here's the reason why. Because had we did the other 2 seasons, I would have got moved up to executive producer, which gives you more power and more voice on how the script is written. As just a staff writer, you write it, and then the person above you make the correct changes, or they go, we're going a different direction, so we're going to make this character do this, that, and the other. So they'll still change it.
So you know what that tells me, DJ?
You need to be executive producer.
There's an agenda.
Absolutely. But it's their shit. You can't tell them how to do their shit.
No, but I said that to say how you were mentioning that, you know, when you look on TV today, there's nothing that, you know, is truly just that funny or that you can just grab onto. But in all honesty, I think it's done that way on purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, I meet so many creative people every single day, right? Especially living in Los Angeles. There's a billion actors out here. There's a billion directors. So at some point, you got to ask the question and go, well, what's the problem then? If all these people can act and all these people can write and we got all these producers, how come nothing's getting written and nothing's getting produced?
Because they only let through
because
the bosses.
Right. No, that's not why. Because the people have the industry monopolized. For example, you have to get a movie greenlit in order to get in theaters. Mm-hmm. It has to be approved. Mm-hmm. So what do you have to approve?
And before you get it approved, they want to know who you have attached to it. And so when I say attached, they want it in, like, no black actor is going to say, oh, write their name and say, I'm going to be attached to your project. Because what happens is, if you're attached to a project, then you can't do something else. So they go, well, I can't be attached to it. But, you know, if you get the funding, which you can't get the funding till you find somebody to attach to your project.
But Speedy, like, we got to understand, it's their money. Of course, they're not going to put their money behind something that they don't know about. They don't know about this black culture. They don't know about what's hot and what's not.
DJ, that's the thing we got to get out of. It's not about money.
Mm-mm.
It is.
It's not, bro. Why do you? But
if you put your own money up, you won't have to deal with that, correct?
DJ, it's not. No, you still would, because they don't care. You're going to have to get the movie greenlit to get it put in theaters, which means you have to send your film off, and then another group of people have to approve the message in your film.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't pay money. I couldn't pay the price to have my money put in theaters.
No. So for example, what was the movie? Nate, what you call it, did?
Nate Parker.
Nate Parker.
Not 12 years.
The Nat Turner movie. Okay. Right. So for example, even though he put his money up to film the movie, right, he had to go sell the movie in order to get it into theaters. So he had to take the film, take it to a little showcase. Somebody bought it for, I think, $17-18 million. Then they were able to put it in the theaters because they was not going to allow him to do it.
Because that's not how the system.
So say if I'm the
more money.
No, it's not about the money, bro. It's about the relationships. They're not going to let Nate listen. They're not going to let Nate Parker do that because that establishes now background for other blacks to say, you know what, we don't need these people. Mm-hmm. We could just film our own movies. Mm-hmm. Now, if you take that away from him, you have no blueprint to do it yourself.
But if he went to an app or he went out the trunk,
he wouldn't have gotten. He could have made some money. He wouldn't have made theater money. The money comes in when it goes to the theaters and then go overseas. You know why? You know why when we do an all black cast, for those who don't know, they don't send those movies overseas. You know why? Because they don't watch them overseas. And the studios don't really get behind them because they want to make the money overseas. Why? Because that helped them buy yachts and boats and keep the kids in private school. When you can send a movie overseas and it makes that more money, that's when they love it. They want a mixed cast, or they want maybe one or two black people. But I'll give you a perfect example. There was a movie that had Faison Love in it. He was one of the stars in the movie. When they sent the picture of the box overseas, he wasn't on the box.
Not at all. He sued him.
Yeah, he wasn't on the box because they want to make that overseas money.
But just like Nate Parker, right? So I don't even think there's nothing wrong with that. So what Nate Parker did was he went to basketball players, he went to celebrities, and he got funding from them. That's
to do the movie.
And then he shot the movie.
Yeah, but that's to do the movie,
that's
but
not
to put
about.
it into the theater.
You got to
that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother budget.
Yeah, that's theater. It's like you got to at least get to really be a hit. It has to be in 15,000 or 1,500 theaters around the United States. 1,500. That's all you need to be in to become a hit. Normally, it's about 3,000 theaters you're trying to get into, and then so when you get, let's say you get 3,000 theaters that first week. If your numbers go down, going into the second week, you get cut in half. How many theaters you're going to be in? So you go down to 15,000, and then it goes down and down and down.
I mean, that stuff is not cheap. You know, I've seen how they built DreamWorks Studios. They put up like $100 million, and then they got another $500 million, and they was well over $1 billion. They still almost went bankrupt like 3 times before selling it for like $1.6 billion.
But
it's a lot of money.
But you know who wasn't going bankrupt? The people that were involved, because they were getting that money.
Right.
They just weren't doing right projects.
But those people already had money. Those people were already billionaires. Steven Spielberg, David Geffen.
They always want more.
But,
Great call, though.
Hey,
Friday, DJ. You hear Friday?
I'm still talking.
Hilarious.
That's the problem.
But no, I was just gonna say, they still have other avenues. We still got other avenues. Like people with apps. Dame Dash got an app.
Bruh, come on, man. Stop. And sometimes you gotta know who you're attaching yourself to.
Y'all Friday, man.
All right,
so y'all don't flake on me.
Shout out to Dame Dash, man. Do you?
Yeah, Dame Dash ain't got the best reputation in the business.
You have to be careful who you attach yourself to. And again, I get DJ. He wants to throw money at everything for some reason. I don't know why he thinks throwing money at everything makes it.
Well, I think that's the what they call it, the carrot and the stick. I think money itself, right? You can read this in the scriptures, y'all. It tells you not to focus on these things. It's the carrot. You know what I'm saying? They just dangling the carrot in front of you to get you going. Because you ever ask black people? This is how I know. I always ask black people this. Man, I'm trying to get a meal. I'm just trying to get $1 million. You know, I need to. Man, if I had Bill Gates' money, you know what I ask him? What would you do with it? If I, you know who asked me that? Jamie asked me that though. And it was a real question. But you ask a black person, if I cut you a check right now for $1 million,
what you gonna do?
What are you gonna take the money and do?
To the mall.
You know what they finna do?
Mall.
Go to the mall. Yeah. Go get a car. You know what? That's why God ain't finna give it to you. Cause you just finna go trick it off. Thinking I can do better with this.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? What you gonna trick off?
What's up, everybody?
Burn! What up?
I went back old school for this one. I went and I watched Blood In, Blood Out.
Love that movie.
Great movie.
And I said to myself, and I watched it, and I go, this is a depressing-ass movie.
Oh, of course.
And people go, well, what you mean by that? And I'm like, if you pay attention, that white boy, he was not loved by really anybody.
Because he was white. And he was
because he was mixed. That's number one. Number two, he tried so hard to fit in, he ain't never getting out of prison. Even though I'm acting like, even though we talking like this is a real story, but still, that boy ain't never getting out of jail ever.
Right. That was a good movie though, Vern.
It was.
It showed a side that we never saw before because
he went to prison. He went to jail twice, and then he went to prison. As soon as he got to prison, he ain't never getting out.
See, why they got to show another black gay dude?
Because they just do that. So just so you know, here in California, because everything is separated, especially when you go to jail. But there are white dudes
who. You know why that is?
Because that's just the way it is. But hold on, let me finish. There are white dudes who grow up in black neighborhoods. They grow up in Latino neighborhoods. We're more to go, okay, he cool. Yeah. Most Latinos and most other races, when you get in those situations, they go, hell no. Because he's not this, that, and the other.
Yeah, black people are the only people that go,
we're the more receptive.
Let's get along. Yeah. Everybody else, don't play that game.
Eminem could come hang out with us. Because we go, oh, he cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Eminem couldn't go hang out with the Aryan Nation if he was hanging out with brothers. He couldn't.
And I feel him on that. Eminem stay over there.
No. He's not black. He's I don't know what his name nationality is, but he's not black.
Who's that?
The guy that tried to take it from him.
Right here? He's Latino. Yeah. He's Puerto Rican. He's from New York.
That's a Latino man.
Yeah, he's Latino.
I forgot his nationality, but he's Latino.
He's Latino.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican.
And he's trying to show him the ropes and tell him that he was like, no, nigga.
That was a good movie. Come over here. It was a really good movie.
He was like, I'm Mexican and I'm this and like, no. You're a white boy. Go sit your ass down somewhere.
They were pretty much on point.
And all the shit he had to do to get along, all the shit he had to do to feel like he fit in. It was so bad. And the saddest movie I've seen, even though most people don't agree with me, is Snow.
Snow, what's that?
No, I mean Blow. I'm sorry.
Oh, Blow, yeah, Blow. Blow's good.
Which one's Blow?
With Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. That is one of the most depressing movies I have ever seen in my life.
What was Blow about, Vern? I forget what that was based on.
It was about Johnny Depp. He was a big-time dope dealer.
Yeah, but it was based off of something that actually happened.
Was he flying the cocaine back and forth?
The guy himself. The guy was a big-time. I mean,
it was based off a real person. Like the dude was like the dude who got the club. What was the club popping in the 70s?
So much money, he couldn't even know what to do
51,
with.
Area 51.
What was it Studio 54.
Still, he was about to. I think the dude who got all the cocaine and all that stuff popping in the era.
Then the worst part about it is that why is it every time somebody say, "Hey, one last run."
You know why, Vernon?
One last run.
Because that's real life, though.
That's real. Yeah. Somebody always says, "I'm gonna do it one more time."
That's real life.
Every time they say one more time, that's the last time they ever do some shit.
I'm surprised somebody has a rotor script where they don't say that, or if they say "nigga, this my," and they actually get out of it.
Because I listen to that voice in my head.
He's been in the game for however long. You went to jail, you got out. They say, "Hey man, your daughter, your whoever," say, "Look, I ain't dealing with this bullshit no more. You can't do this shit. Leave that shit alone." You're doing good for. It's always about 6 months out of the game. They doing good. Then somebody comes in with a sweet deal and they can't resist.
Facts.
Well, have you ever watched the movie Heat?
Yep.
We talked about this on the show where
that was one. That was
where Robert De Niro's character in the beginning he says, "No, you're never gonna catch me because I'm not attached to anything." And then what happens? He meet a girl and he can't leave, and he gets caught. Which I just want sometime. How about he really didn't get attached to the white girl and he did leave her, just upped and bounced.
Should have shot her.
Wow.
It's a couple. It was a movie like that a long time ago where the guy he was trying to do something.
Is this
I think he was trying to become a leader or something in a gang or something. I can't remember the name of the movie. And he met this girl, and she was trying to, get him to do something different. And before the movie was over, he killed her and was like, "I told you, this is what I'm doing. There's nothing on this planet that's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. You're not going to make me soft." And he killed her.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
he killed her, and he went on and
I find out what that is.
I can't think of the name of
Vernon,
that movie.
find out what movie that is and hit us back.
Yeah, let us know, Vern. I want to see that.
I want to see that.
Thanks, Vern. Oh, dang it. Vern, I want to ask you if you watched Clickbait. So did you watch Clickbait?
I started watching number 2 and fell asleep.
All right, so I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
It's only 8 episodes.
All right.
So I watched the whole thing.
Is it good or not?
it's good because you can't figure out what happens, which is I always appreciate it in films. Like in any show, if I can't figure it out, I'll watch it because now I got something to hold on to.
And if I figure it out in the middle of your shit, I'm done. I don't watch.
I don't respect your writing, none of that. So they did enough twists and turns. You're not gonna figure it out. Okay. The only thing I did not like, and this I'll show you how much a stickler I am. They didn't have it was white people, so it's not gay characters in white shows for some reason, which is really strange. But whatever. The only thing I didn't like is at the very end they're arresting a lady. Okay. And so they're chasing.
Not giving anything away because
I'm not saying who lady is. So they're just arresting someone, right? But anyways, they go through the whole process. But protocol for any arrest is I'll pull the gun on you, freeze. Now, once I tell you put your hands up, see if you ain't armed. But once I tell you to get on your knees and put your hands behind your head or something, what does that mean?
Handcuffs.
Automatically.
Yeah.
That's what any maybe because I'm black and that's our reality. so I see your handcuffs. Or I see you go on the knees, hands up. Okay, cool. The next scene, she runs and grabs somebody. Huh? So I was like, wait a minute, nigga. Wait a minute. In reality, when the cops pull guns on you.
Oh, so she got away from them?
No, she was still with the police, but just something happened where she just reacted to it, and they needed the scene to be dramatic. So they need her to run up and like grab the person and hold them in order for to make it dramatic. So I understood that part, but I was like, that was the only thing. So I was like, bro, in no world do cops pull guns on people, put you on your knees, and then just walk with you to the other crime scene. Like that's never. So that was the
handcuffs going to the crime scene.
That was the only part I did not understand.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? And did you have handcuffs?
Definitely.
Hey, it's Nakia from
Definitely.
Hey, where else would you be from?
What up, Nakia?
Well, I know a couple of Nakias from everywhere.
Okay.
Well, it's a black name, but anyway.
That's racist.
Actually, Speedy, it's not a black name.
Was it Polynesian?
Well, okay, so here it is. So for females, yes, it's a black name.
Thank you.
But for males,
it's Hawaiian.
It's also it's a Native American, and I think it's also African American.
So it's some dudes named Nakia. It's some dudes named Nakia.
Nigga, it was a whole book and movie and TV show named Nakia.
What TV show?
That's like a Pixar film.
The TV show was named Nakia.
I don't know that show.
Oh. That's because your ass is old.
Why did you call?
Oh, that was a karate show. She was Asian.
No, that was not a karate show. It was a show about a Native American chief that was also the police chief.
Let me look this shit up.
And his name is Nakia.
I got Google.
And his name is Nakia.
Yes, his name is Nakia.
Fuck out of here.
That's how it was in the 70s, and that's how a lot of people came up with the name Nakia.
Where'd your mama get the name?
A lot of them born in the 70s are named either after that show or because like with me, my auntie had a friend who named her daughter Nakia, and she liked it, so she named me Nakia.
All right, Nakia, go right ahead. What did you call about?
Well, I was calling to say hi and tell you what I'm watching.
What you watching, girl?
I'm actually catching up on Power Book 3, Kanan.
Yeah, I got to finish. I stopped not stopped, but I just haven't watched the other ones. I recorded them. So I got to keep watching. I already said I thought the first two, it was just a fantastic writing, just great writing.
Great writing. I'm really loving the mom. She is like hella cool.
She gangster as fuck.
So,
she's so gangster.
Yeah, and then and also there's a white dude by the name of Nakia who's a singer. I don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, we don't care about him. Now, are you gonna watch the Black Mafia Family?
What is that?
That's another one of 50 Cent's shows. It's about to drop.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna watch. I didn't watch the first book of After Power, was the one about the kid. I don't like his ass, so I didn't want to watch it. This one, everybody kept telling me how good this one is, so I started watching it this morning. I think I'm on episode 3 now.
I wonder if he really caught some flack, because some people take the characters and they go, that's how the person really is. Like, I didn't like his character. I thought he should have got killed in the first episode. That was just me. The minute he talked back to his daddy, I thought he should have shot him. I wonder if he got any flack from that character.
Most likely so.
because he hasn't done anything else. He hasn't done. It seemed like he would have already been involved. He might be. It just hasn't aired, but it seemed like he would already be involved with another show.
I think he was so banking on the book 2 working well and everything that he probably didn't work on anything else. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 50 has another show called The Black Mafia Family, based out of Detroit.
Oh, BMF. Okay, I see it now.
Based on Big Meech.
I see it now.
Yeah.
I think the dopest thing about this is his son is playing his dad, which I think is dope.
Really?
50 son?
No. So Big Meech's son.
Oh.
He's actually playing him.
Snoop is in it.
So I think that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So that's it's gonna be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Because you tell your son stuff you wouldn't tell a regular actor.
And he could be able to, and that's another thing that somebody who's in that could go, no, that wouldn't happen.
Right.
And that's another part of writing and having a good writing team is that you have people and you trust the people around you to go, okay, they're going to give you the right information. When Jamie did the Tookie Williams story, and they, believe it or not, they shot that in Toronto. So I'm in Toronto with them. And they were doing the jailhouse scene. And they had all the races mixed, and I had to tell the director. The director was the dude from Coming to America that says, "Oh, that's him, when he's come out the bathroom." Right. So I had to tell him. I said, "No, in the prison system in California, they don't all be together. They would be on separate tiers. Like you would have all the blacks on one tier, Latinos on another tier, and so forth, so on." So he had to go back and change that because he didn't know that because he didn't grow up in Los Angeles. So those are just certain things about. When you're writing,
but is that all jails in California?
Yeah.
Yes, they're the Latinos, and in other words, they're not mingling together.
Yes, everything is race out here.
It's not. What is it called? It's not integrated.
Hell no. You
get killed out here.
No, all the Latinos are on, and if you're in a gang, then your gang is wherever you in that, or wherever hood you from. If you a Crip, you in on the block with all the Crips.
I ain't visited my brother, my stepbrother.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Fox actually did a really good job on that movie on Tookie Williams. I remember Tookie he used to always come to the concerts and take his shirt off and had overalls on, but he had a whole bunch of little dudes. The reason why they had to get Tookie off the streets because he was able to tell people what to do and they did it.
Right. Had nothing to do with gangbanging.
And he was able to. If he said it, they did it. With no hesitation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right, and then right after Tookie died, they started the gang war between A-Trays and 60s, if I'm not mistaken. I think that goes back to like the 80s. Or no, Hoover or the A-Tray. Oh yeah, A-Trays and 60s started right after that. Which if you ask anybody who was around that time, they all think it was a setup. Because the person who started the gang war had only been a part of the rival gang for a day.
Oh wow!
And back then, it wasn't common to use gun violence. That was something very extreme. So they was like, because everybody grew up together. So they was like, even when they had that conflict, it was a bunch of friends having a conflict. The only outsider was the one dude that they had joined. Nobody really knew him, and he's the one that killed the other guy and started a complete gang war. It's been going on for 30 years now. So a lot of people that were involved in that time thinks that was a government setup.
And what else you watching, Nakia? Don't ever answer me like that.
You did a verse.
Don't ever answer me like that, Nakia.
Did you watch?
That's basically it.
Did you finish watching Clickbait?
Yeah, I watched Clickbait in like 24 hours.
What'd you think at the end, Nakia?
It was something I wasn't fucking expecting, but I loved it.
Nakia, wait a minute. Didn't it trip you out when the lady hugged her dude? How she ain't handcuffed?
Yes.
You talk about white privilege, boy. I said, boy, I ain't never seen this kind of white privilege.
I say it all the time now when white people get pulled over.
Right now, so I gotta go. I know it's 2:30 already. I'll holler.
All right. And then, all right.
We riding our bike.
I can't tell you about the show. Dang.
Oh, my bad.
All right, go tell me what you're
I'm watching. I was riding my bike yesterday. We rode for 15 miles. That's what I do. And it was a white dude sitting on the ground, and the police were talking to him. But he was, being very boisterous. He was a little loud. And I'm like, he ain't in cuffs yet? Yeah. He was just sitting on the ground. Yeah. He wasn't in cuffs.
Listen, man.
I said, nigga, this that new shit.
Somebody told me a wise thing about police officers. Don't talk to them. So that's why I listen, man. I don't talk to cops. I say whatever I got to say, and then I'm not gonna volunteer no information. I don't know nothing. I don't know my name.
Now, one of my favorite shows, since everybody talk about typical shit, is Kingdom Come or Kingdom Animal Kingdom.
I still haven't watched it.
And it's the white dudes. So it was a scene in this yesterday, and a Sunday because it airs Sunday. I just watched it yesterday. Where he gets high. Where one of the brothers get high as hell. He's on a motorcycle, Nick, and he pulls up to the light, and a motorcycle cop pulls on the side of him. He gives him the finger and take off, and he actually gets away. I said, "Shit."
But that's not a crime.
To give the cop a finger and run the red light? Yeah.
Well, I mean, run the red light is.
He ran the red light.
Just flipping cops off ain't no crime. Well, if you black is a crime. You know
now, again, the show is good. I think the writing's slipping a little bit because they're getting away with shit. You go, like, they robbed this one brother who had owned a skate park. He had a skate park, and he was doing other shit. And they took his safe, and he has yet to come back. Like, his character was like, yo, don't fuck with me. This my shit.
Right.
They take his safe because they needed something in his safe. They get away, and the character never comes back. He has yet to come back. He's one of those kind of characters, to be like, show up at your house like, yeah, motherfucker, you thought I wouldn't never find you? That's how the character was portrayed, but that's not how it happened. So,
yeah, I've never.
It's actually a really good show, but now they go back and forth when the white lady, she's dead now. The grandson shot her in the head.
I'm assuming that's the grandson, that white dude?
No, he's the son. He's kind of crazy.
He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, he's crazy as cat shit on this show.
Yeah, that white dude's a pretty good actor.
Yeah. And then she has 3 other sons. They killed him. He got killed in the second season. They killed him. I think he was a brother or a cousin or something. I forgot who he was. But it's actually a really good show.
Oh, dang. I just seen another movie last night that was good as heck.
What?
What's the dude that played Born Identity after the one white dude?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
What's his name?
I don't know his name, but.
So he plays in a movie where this girl basically gets killed in, like, Wyoming. So he's a hunter. He's like so they live in this very small town in Wyoming, right? Uh-huh. Where it's like the coldest place in the States. Like, it's freezing. There's nothing to do, but it's out in the middle of nowhere.
I think I saw the trailer for that.
So the guy is like a tracker. He's an animal tracker. Okay. So people hire him to, like, if they have like a little farm, they hire him to, like, go track the coyotes down or something like that. Or if they have mountain lions killing their animals, they hire him to go track the mountain lions. That's his job. So this young lady gets killed in the middle of, like, the middle of the snow. Mm-hmm. So you got to imagine, and she's 6 miles from anything, and it's below zero. Mm-hmm. So that's where the story kind of picks up at, and that's the whole mystery. Is like, okay, how does somebody run barefoot 6 miles in something that most people would have died in the first 600 feet? So okay. I'm trying to pull up my man that played the other Bourne. Which Bourne was it? Not Bourne Identity. Not Bourne Identity. Not Jason Bourne. Legend? It was Legend. Jeremy. Yeah. And so you go to Jeremy, and then you hit that, and then you pull up all the movies he's done. Yeah, what was the name of the movie? Oh, you don't know? It's the latest movies he's done. Is it called The Hurt? 2015. Or 2015? It should be like 2015. 2017. It's called Wind River. Yep, Wind River. I'm finna pull it right now, y'all. If y'all get a chance to watch this movie, it's good. Yeah. Really? And I'm gonna tell you why it's good, because I didn't start watching it till late. And if a movie bad, you will go to sleep. I actually stayed up and watched this whole movie. That's how I knew it was good. I was like, oh, this got to be a good movie, because I'm actually watching this at like 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, so as you can see right here, starts off. The young lady, she's running in the middle of the snow. But right? You don't know why at the time. You don't know why. That's how it opens up. Okay. So then the dude breaks down throughout the film, like the effects of the snow, and that it's almost impossible for somebody to run this far and all this kind of stuff. It's a good movie. I couldn't figure out what happened until they showed what happened. So it's a good little film. Now, I tried to... Kind of got a Revenant vibe to it, but it's a good film. All right, so I'm going to check that out. So last week, someone told me to watch Rock and Roller with Gerard Butler. Idris Elba is in it. And it was actually it's very slow. If you're going to watch it, and it's a British movie, it's very, very slow. And action, and they do a lot of talking, leading you into different scenes. Because that's how Guy Ritchie does his movies.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? And welcome. Take that L.
What up?
You watching Wu-Tang?
The second season? No, I watched the first season. I mentioned it last week. I think the documentary on them on I think it was on Prime.
I can't hear you, Speedy. You cut out.
I said I think the documentary, whatever it's called, is better because it tells you exactly. I think the TV show is good because everybody's they got billboards everywhere, so it's doing well on that tip.
Yeah, it's doing good so far, and I just started watching. People were talking about You. I started watching it on Netflix. I'm like 3 episodes in. It's pretty good. You'll like that one, Speedy.
You? What is that about?
Yeah. It's without giving it away. Like I'm just 3 episodes in, so it kind of has that Dexter vibe.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did see the trailer for that.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's so far. It's pretty
and
good.
I think they did that because Dexter is coming back.
Yeah, it's all right so far.
The guy looks like Dexter.
The guy, yeah, he does.
He looks like the same actor.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. I said that too.
Wait, so look, the only thing I didn't like on Dexter
was when he started liking his sister. Like when that started happening, I could not vibe with that.
Which is creepy because they're actually married in real life.
Yeah, but
that's even more creepy.
But you know what I could appreciate about it is this: that's some white people stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta respect that part.
There you go.
Like they put some real elements in there. And that's white people stuff because I was like, I'm not watching this.
I just thought Dexter is so good of a show, and I never knew why it stopped. But
yeah, I thought the concept a serial killer hunting serial killers. Yeah, I mean, come on, I can't get much better than that.
And here's a good part about that: when you're watching it, you're gonna root for the dude to kill the serial killer more than knowing what he does.
Even though now that I'm saying this out loud, L, I doubt you've ever seen the show. You ever seen the TV show called Castle?
Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it.
Oh, look at you. Got a little culture in your life.
Bro, that's what I said. I watch everything.
Yeah. So look, Castle, most black people would never watch the show Castle. Castle is a really good show. But essentially, it's kind of like Dexter. Like, it's a show about a mystery crime writer helping to solve mystery crimes.
Hilarious.
Yeah, with the police.
Right. So it's kind of the same concept as Dexter. So it's a good show, though.
Dude is helping. His name is Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you. Yeah.
It's a good show though. I got sick or something like that.
I'll never watch that.
So I watched it.
Yeah, bro, I watch everything. Bro.
No, you don't.
All right, L, I can respect your TV palette, man. What the hell is that?
My TV game is strong, man. I watch it all, bro.
I can respect your TV. I can respect your palette.
Okay.
Man.
So did you watch Rock and Roller? Have you seen that movie?
Haven't seen who?
That movie Rock and Roller.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. With Idris Elba. It's actually
Rock and Roller?
Yeah, Roller.
Rock and Roll. What is it about?
It's a Guy Ritchie movie, and you know who that is, the director. So it goes all over the place. It's a little slow. Most of his movies are not slow like this, and it's narrated by the people in the movie a little bit more than it probably should be, but it has to help you get along to what it's about. But it's a British movie, so it's kind of I couldn't tell you exactly what it's about.
It sounds familiar, but I don't recall the movie though.
Yeah, my man from 300, Gerard Butler is the lead.
When did they come out?
2017.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw that with Speedy.
Okay.
Look at you. All right.
I think I saw that.
I don't believe you, but okay.
All right, L.
Nick believes you. Nick believes you.
Well,
I watched everything. Have y'all seen? I know we talked about it before. Never mind. I forgot the name of the damn show. This another.
All right,
what do y'all think about the reboot they're doing for Fresh Prince?
Yeah, I saw who the characters were. I've never seen. Which I want to make sure I get this. I say this. It's dope that they're using other actors. For some reason in our black, when they cast for us, we use the same people.
Oh yeah, they recycle.
We never go outside and find new people. So I thought that was dope. Do they look like the people from what we know? No, none of them. No, they don't look like it at all. Maybe it's just their headshots are too rough, and like Carlton character, he looked like he about to go. He like a gang member. But
But see, you know what though? What's different about it with people that not looking at, because people are looking at the comedy aspect of the Fresh Prince, but with this being a drama, it's going to be a little bit.
Oh, is that what it is? It's not. So it's not a comedy show.
No, it's gonna be It's gonna be drama.
Maybe that's why they picked those particular. That's why they picked those particular actors. So that makes sense now, because everybody's headshot didn't look like comedy at all. So what is it just about a young man who moves to Beverly Hills? L.
Okay, I can hear you now.
It's about a young man that moves to Beverly Hills. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's still the same whole concept, still the same characters and everything. It's just the drama.
Take your time.
Yeah, it's not. It's just a serious drama.
I'm gonna check it out though. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm watching. It's gonna be interesting. You got a lot of people that complain about it, saying, "Oh, you can't replace, the Fresh Prince. You can't really do it," but they're not doing it the same way. So.
And now it makes sense to me now, because again, when I'm looking at everyone's headshot, nobody had a cheerful face. I'm like, what kind of comedy is this? But if you're saying we're going from the other side of it, from why he had to leave Philly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which we knew.
Actually have a trailer, Speedy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
They shot back in 2019.
Oh wow, I'm looking at the trailer now.
It's time for a change.
Yeah.
You're going to Bel Air.
Now, what do you think about the reboot for the other show that was white? Now it's black.
Out of all places.
The Wonder Years.
It's a second.
The Wonder Years. It's gonna be interesting to see how they pull that off. Again, that's one of them shows where you probably could plug in, different races and make it work. But it just depends on how they're gonna write it.
Well, Don Cheadle is doing the voiceover, and I forgot who's the executive producer, but they do have a black executive producer, and the kid that played the original kid is the executive producer. So I thought that was dope. A lot of people I heard was like, well, how can you do the Wonder Years as black? I said, why not? Why can't you do one? Because we grew up just like
this. It's one of them shows where you can plug them in,
Yeah, because Wonder Years could have been any year. Could have been a Japanese. Could be because it's just a kid who's growing up in his neighborhood and what goes on in his house. What channel is this? Is the Fresh Prince supposed to be on?
Was I haven't said anything because they just did the casting and everything, so they haven't really said, how far they're going as far as what they're going to do.
This looks really good, man.
Yeah, it looks dope.
This looks really good.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's a whole different piece, but a lot of people are already complaining,
Because I was thinking it was going to be like I thought they were doing the Fresh Prince over. I didn't know they were doing a drama. Fresh Prince.
They're just doing the concept. Basically, a kid from Philly gets into stuff, doesn't have a dad, moves to the suburbs,
and has to, which is totally different.
You see, like when they was shooting basketball, the whole thing.
Yeah, because in Philly, any little thing will start a fight, and the ball hitting somebody in the face. Yep, that's gonna start it.
Yep. So I'm interested to see how it's gonna be, man. It looks pretty good.
Let's check. Make sure we watch it, man, so to get some ratings.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dog.
All right, thanks, L. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this. This looks good, actually, and I think the concept is good.
I just like the fact they used other actors instead of the ones.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody I've seen on this thing so far. I haven't seen any of these people in the previous films.
For those, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, in white Hollywood, they have a thing. They go who's the new top 10 new people coming into the business, and they're always white. For us, we recycle the same people all the time, and nothing's wrong with that. But there are other actors, like Nick said, there's a billion black actors out here.
Yeah,
he's trying to be.
I just never.
They never get a chance.
So yeah. Okay. Sure.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? You want a chance?
Isn't it the fact that they recycle the same people because they want to make money?
No, because sometimes those the people that's in charge, they feel safe with that person, or they feel like they can get their money back.
Speedy.
Yeah, Vernon, like
with somebody that they're gonna say, oh, okay, but they're bankable, so we can use them and we can use the same people. We're not gonna throw our money out there to see if these new people can make money.
But here's the thing, Vern. They do that with the white movies.
But
Vernon, all the time with white people.
But Vernon, look, I don't.
They usually be their relatives.
But look, but Vernon, I don't think it's so much of a racist thing, right? I think it's a culture thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that
I'm not saying it's racist either.
Right.
I agree with you 100% on that.
I think if I'm a investor, I'm a white investor, right, and I'm investing into a movie. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who the stars in this movie is. I can look at a white film and relate to it. Mm-hmm. And be like, oh, okay, I can relate to this. This is going to work. Mm-hmm. I know enough people that's going to get this concept. And then, so if I put Brad Pitt, I put these people, it works. Mm-hmm. If I go and try to pitch you a black comedy, you don't even understand. Like, imagine pitching a white person Friday.
Yeah.
It's two dudes smoking weed
on the porch.
And
shit that happened in front of him.
And then one dude skips on the drug dealer. He tried to kill him, and at the end, he got to fight the neighborhood bully. White people are going to say, why don't you just call the cops?
Yeah. Why is the bully on their block? You mean one at school, right?
Yeah. No. So imagine trying to get that pitched to anybody.
Yeah.
And if you're a black person, you like, oh, that's hilarious.
And one thing that I'll give DJ out there Vegas, that's why sometimes we have to go and shoot our films and then show them the movie. Because if we try to show them the script, it don't work.
Here's the thing with that. When I think this is just me. I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like if you're first starting out and doing films and things, I think you should get a bunch of short films under your belt first. And then move on to feature films instead of just trying to do feature films straight off the bat. Because if you do the short films if you do let's say you do 10 or 12 short films, right. Those you have under your belt, and somebody can say, hey, well, what do you have you done anything? And you can say, hey, I've done these.
Solid point, yeah.
And now you have people say, oh, okay, he's done something, he knows a little something, instead of trying to spend all this money and get this money and you ain't did shit. People are quicker to give you money if they think you know what you're doing than they will if you don't know what you're doing.
Right, some kind of track record. I feel you, Aaron.
But I'm not gonna knock the person that's able to come in and not have to go through 10 movies to get a deal.
That's true too. But doesn't it make you look better if you have, let's say, 6 or 7 short feature films, and let's say the first 2 are horrible, which they're probably going to be because you're just learning the business.
Yeah.
And then you finally, let's say you didn't buy the camera, you rented the camera, but you got all the other stuff.
Right.
Now you know what to do. Now you know who to go to, and now you can say, hey, this is a pretty good director or a pretty good filmmaker. I worked with him, or this guy, he's good on camera. I worked with him. See, that's putting yourself in positions to be powerful and to bring people that you know doing what you want them to do in. But they know your vision just like you. That's just like having writers.
But just like you said, that's how it works in Hollywood. A guy could be in craft service and be like, damn, I want to write movies. And you're working on a set. So you meet one other person that writes, and y'all start writing together. Then you meet a guy who has a camera, but he doesn't write, but he could take good pictures. So you go, cool, we got a camera guy. So we got to get some lighting. We got to get somebody to record her. Make sure, because that's one thing people forget about as well.
The guy who did Evil Dead,
yeah,
he said that their budget was shit. He went to a cabin. He went to I think his parents' cabin, and made that movie. And he said all they did was basically they had fun and they just did shit.
What was it called?
Remember the original Evil Dead?
No, I never watched any of those movies.
That movie was horrible, but it was fucking hysterical. That was I can say that's one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. It's terrible, but it's good at the same time.
Worst horror movie?
Gremlins.
It was a horror movie?
It was supposed to be, right? It wasn't a
Gremlins?
comedy. Yeah, it wasn't.
I don't think it was supposed to be a horror
Gremlins
movie.
Was it a thriller?
I would put that
I just think it was a monster movie.
But it was like a horror. I feel like it's horror comedy to me.
Horror comedy.
I've seen a few movies in my day.
Worst.
They weren't supposed to be funny, but they were fucking hysterical.
Worst horror film. Mars Attacks.
I was gonna say Aliens and Cowboys.
But, Speedy, I think the first. I think you should try to see.
Oh, K-Dot. No, K-Dot.
What K-Dot say?
She gonna say Bones with Snoop Dogg. That was tight.
That's pretty bad.
Come on, K. That was tight.
K-Dot, you might got something. That was pretty bad.
Bones was good.
See, hold on. But see, is it bad to the point where we love it?
Is it bad to the bone?
Or is it bad to the point
I'm going to go Vampire in Brooklyn.
This shit no more.
I'm going to go Vampire in Brooklyn.
That was a comedy, though.
No, it wasn't. It was a horror movie.
But Speedy, how many times have you watched Vampire in Brooklyn?
Once. I ain't need to see it no more.
You would not... Is it one of those movies you was like, I ain't never watching this shit again?
I'm never going to watch it again. Not even just, like Dana called in and said, well, she got sick, she watched everything. No. Like, when I was sick, I watched Django again, because we went on that. I watched The Departed. Oh, I love The
Departed.
The Departed's good.
Man, when I tell you The Departed, The Departed is so well written. It's so fucking good. It has so many powerful actors that nobody overpowered anybody. Well, they didn't overpower.
Speedy.
Yes.
Didn't his ass didn't he get shut up real good at the end?
Got shut up real good. I wasn't mad. Hey, don't move, man. Call back. We're gonna take a quick break because a dude with no mustache is in the building.
Thanks, Vern.
So we're gonna get this motherfucker locked in, and be right back. It is Roll Out Live with Speedy Friends, and I'll be.
You playing music?
Well, if you give me a second, man. You know, see how you rush me? When I rush you, I pop. You're rushing me.
I thought you was ready, Pop.
I'm always ready. I don't know who you've been talking to. Don't ever talk to Wanda. Tell them to hold on.
Hang on. Go ahead. Say something.
I'm playing.
Say something real quick to the caller. To the caller.
Okay. It smells really good. Yeah. Really sexy.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Right back, y'all.